All right, Bill, if you want to run us through the games last week.
Yes, I do. All right, Thursday. Chargers beat the Chiefs by a point.
What a comeback!
They go for 2.
Down what? They were down 14 with 4 minutes?
That was
Something
go?
like that, yeah.
That was the right call to go for 2.
Oh, yeah.
On the
I
road.
love the call.
On the road.
Big
That's right call.
cojones.
That is ballsy. But,
The cojones against Mahomes.
Mahomes over Mahomes. Oh, Jesus. Whatever. Chargers take it. Wow, big win for them. But really, still a little stinger. They still don't have the number 1 seed. I think it's still the Chiefs
Chiefs still do have it.
because they have the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
That's
All I'm saying is
unfortunate.
whoever the I think it's New England right now. Whoever the 3 is fucking shitting their pants to know that they're going to get matched up with the Chargers in the first round.
Though you know what? The only way.
The
See,
3 will.
the problem is.
Chargers 5. 4 or 5 play each other. The 3 gets the 6.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Who's the 4 right now? Pittsburgh. Oh,
The Chargers just beat Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Well, so, but my point for that is they were down against Pittsburgh. All I'm saying is they've been down by more than double digits. Well,
against some of the top teams in the AFC.
there you
Come
go.
back.
And, well, it's
Without
right in the ass.
their star running back.
Right
Keep that in
the
mind.
ass.
In all those games, they did it without Melvin Gordon.
Well, now they're going to have to do it without Keenan Allen. No, wait, didn't you tell me he's going to play again?
They said he had a hip pointer, and apparently, I didn't watch the game, but he stood on the sideline the entire second half, which they say is normally a good sign, because if he was severely injured, he would be out. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Chargers won.
And they got 10 days of rest since they played on Thursday. They don't play until Sunday.
Yeah. All right, Houston over the Jets. Shocker.
That was closer than it should have been. I will say that.
2022. I mean,
Those odd day primetime games, they're just never know. That was on Saturday.
it could be because you are guaranteed a showtime.
I guess it wasn't really. It was primetime East Coast or something. But I don't know. I think it started at 2:30 here, but 4:30 back there.
So erase the prime time tag.
It was on TV for everyone to watch.
It's a tough.
Just lost.
It's a tough one.
All right, next one, Cleveland beat
We
Denver.
picked it again. All of us
Good.
picked Cleveland.
If we all pick Cleveland, they win. We just need to all pick Cleveland the rest of the year. Just get them in the playoffs.
Man, what a just fall from
Deal.
grace the Broncos had. I think 2 weeks ago they were kind of sitting pretty, and the
They
defense
beat
was
the
looking
Steelers and they
good.
beat the Chargers back to back.
And it was like, damn, the Broncos are going to be a shitty matchup for somebody as they sneak in, and then they just shit the bed against who was it? The Niners.
The
Niners,
they lost to last week.
Yeah, and
lost
then
to
the
Cleveland.
fucking Browns.
They did lose Manuel Sanders.
That is
has
true.
to
And
hurt.
traded to Darius Thomas, so they lost their two best
That has to
receivers.
hurt. Yeah. So sorry. Good job, Cleveland. Still not.
Browns
Anyway.
watch.
Alrighty. Atlanta blew out Arizona. Next. Buffalo beat Detroit. Wow.
Buffalo.
Oh boy, Detroit.
No one cared.
You're on
Yeah,
that.
just
you're
a battle of the turds.
Josh Allen has looked pretty decent though, running as well. So I think with the
well, good because they don't have a running back.
I think with the exception of Baker, Allen has impressed me the most.
I think going into this year, I was expecting the most out of Allen.
I think Baker looks
No, because I thought Darnold was done.
I think Baker is probably the best. I think Allen is clearly number two. I think Rosen's been the worst.
I also haven't watched a single game of Rosen.
If I were to rank the top five that are playing, I'm not sure how huge on Lamar Jackson. I'd probably go Baker
He has
one.
probably done
They're at
better
least getting
than
he's at least getting the
Rosen.
team to win.
Yeah, I would.
He's a
probably,
fucking shit thrower. That is undeniable. He's pooping passing the ball, but
I would
he's
probably
getting dubs.
I would probably go Baker, Allen, Darnold, Lamar Jackson, and then Rosen.
I was gonna say I got excited because we're playing the Cardinals this week, so I got to watch them. I'll be in Texas.
Don't worry, you won't have to watch it.
Yeah. Well,
you
the way
say
the
that.
Rams have played the last 2 weeks,
You say
he
that.
may.
You might look good. You might move up on my list after playing the Rams.
All right, there you go. Chicago beat Green Bay.
suck a dick, Packer fans. Suck it. Eliminated from playoff contention in Soldier. Oh, so sad.
Bill and I love you, Packer fans. Don't stop listening to our podcast.
Debatable.
It's
We need all the
amazing.
help we can get.
It's amazing to be your most hated rival in a late game where one, you clinched the division for the first time in 8 years. One, beat Aaron Rodgers for the fucking first time in 8 years in Soldier. And to eliminate them completely from playoff contention. So that was good. I mean, it was a good showing from the Bears. I think, one, I hope Green Bay sits Rodgers the rest of the year and just lets him heal because he's hurt. it was evident later in the game that his knee or whatever it was, his legs were bothering him, and they need to get him some fucking help. God, he's just got nobody. So Tiger's got some work to do in the offseason.
You know what he should do? He should retire and become a coach.
They just gave him $100 million.
He should
Oh, yeah, he should keep it.
He should demand a trade to the Titans. Nashville is nice.
Oh, yeah. I got a running back now.
Yeah, he'll suck dick for the first 13
And he's got a
weeks.
good defense. An offensive line that blocks people.
I'm glad they blocked for Mariota. And
Ooh, Drew didn't have 8 wins, so.
You do have 6 losses, so you have lost.
Okay, that's true.
we need to talk about the picture after we go through these
We will.
scores
We
because I want to see where the Titans are right now. Let's see here.
Still in
Cincy
the
beat
hunt.
Oakland next. Indianapolis shut out Dallas.
Take
Man, oh,
a
man.
big, fat Cleveland steamer right on their chests.
I
God.
think I was the only one that picked Dallas.
You were. And yet again, me and Ben show why you should listen to us. So we pick games and not Bill.
Okay, well, when Indianapolis plays the Jaguars again and gets shut out too, then
Yeah,
I'll remember
that
that.
would be true if the week after that they didn't beat the Texans in Houston.
Put up a goose egg. Damn.
Yeah, Dallas they just looked bad.
They got
just
destroyed.
They couldn't get anything going.
The Colts are a team. It's gonna be. You don't want to play any team that's gonna be the 6th seed in the AFC either. 'Cause you don't really want to play the Colts. The
I
Titans,
think
the
their
Titans
6
play the
seeds are
style
better than NFC 6 seed.
100%.
I agree.
Because the Titans play a style in the playoffs they can beat you. Because if we can run the ball, we're just gonna kill the clock
But you're not going to be at home.
and
so
control the game.
Yeah,
And you don't want to play the Ravens defense.
I do. 'Cause the bright lights, he gonna crumble.
I agree with that.
So
All right, next, Minnesota blew out Miami. Congratulations, Cousins. You may have earned a tiny sliver of that salary by beating the fifth team, your fifth team, the winning record. You're 5 of 30-something, whatever, I don't know. That's something ridiculous.
That was a must-win for Minnesota. That
yeah.
was absolutely a must-win. And yeah, they got it done. They were able to run the ball, I think, which is something they have not been able to do consistently all year long. But they got Dalvin Cook going finally, which created some more throwing lanes for Thielen and Diggs to get open, and did what they were supposed to do. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what they do the last couple of games. No, definitely not.
All right, Tennessee shut out the Giants. Take a seat.
Yep.
Take a
and then
seat,
you
though.
fucking danced on. As we walk
Yeah,
off the
get
field.
them to
That's
remember
right.
the Titans walk off.
Pretty funny. I won't lie, I like that a lot.
Derrick Henry looked good again.
170 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I'm glad he's on every fantasy owner's. No, he's on waivers.
I'm starting it this week in my fantasy playoff finals.
You got some big balls, my
That's
friend.
actually my question because I have McCaffrey, who's a must-play. Then I have Philip Lindsay, who typically was a must-play, but was ass last week. Got like 2 points or something. Then I have a flex where last week I played Damian Williams. But if Spencer Ware plays, then Damian Williams and Spencer Ware could like take time from each other. So I have both of them, so I can play either one. But I don't think it's going to be like as heavy as it was Spencer Ware 2 weeks ago and Damian Williams this week. So the question is, if Spencer Ware doesn't play, I think Damian Williams is a must-play again, just because the Chiefs scored so many points. Do you play Henry over Lindsey, or if Ware plays, do I play Henry in the flex and play Lindsey and McCaffrey? So, the Titans play the Redskins, but the Titans are also at home.
Yes.
I think 100% you played Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
The Redskins have a good run D, though.
You know they have a bad of? Offense. So when they throw picks, like at their own one, you're going to benefit.
McCaffrey plays Atlanta, who has the worst run defense in the league.
Or if you look
I
at it
have
the
to
other
play
way,
it.
if the Titans are starting to blow out the Redskins, guess what y'all going to be doing the rest of the game?
So let's put it this way. McCaffrey plays Atlanta. I'm playing him regardless. Philip Lindsay plays at Oakland. Henry plays the Redskins at home. And then Ware and Williams, depending on who plays, is at Seattle.
Yes, but Denver's also been
Oh.
officially eliminated from playoff contention, so they may sit him a little bit more. Not to make sure he just doesn't get injured.
That is true.
I think Titans are, obviously have everything to play for because they're trying to sneak in.
Yeah.
Seattle has also everything to play for because they don't want to get.
And it's at Seattle, where their defense is 10 times better.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go, Henry. Alrighty, we're not even through. Tennessee blew out the Giants. Shocker! Get a new quarterback. God damn. Who else needs to tell you that?
We talked about it. NFC East, worst division this league's seen in decades.
See, you say that, but they just beat the Jags. Washington, 16-13.
Jags your ass.
The Josh
They are.
Johnson.
Oh wait, but they're not going to win with the Pro Bowl corner. Dylan Ramsey?
Oh, yeah.
He's guarding Washington's number one receiver.
I-
Nobody.
I didn't know Jalen Ramsey could score points too. I didn't know he played offense.
He could. Pick 6.
It's called high scoring defense. They don't have. That's all he does. That. You know, you can keep doing that while your ass is on the couch watching the playoffs every year. All right, next.
The Pro Bowl where he belongs.
He does this. But sure, I guess he won't be on the couch the entire time. Alrighty, Baltimore beat Tampa. What else is there to say? Shocker.
Yeah, crab legs. Couldn't get it done.
Another shocker. Oh boy. You know what? If Lamar Jackson isn't careful, he's going to be the next prototype crab legs. Just don't be stealing crab legs. Or there you go. That's your nickname for the rest of your life.
That imitation crab. You say they ran out of steam.
Yes.
Just trying to butter you up.
That's lobster. Go away.
You have butter with crab also.
Anyway, next,
Read crab,
San
you
Francisco.
can't remember.
San Francisco, one you're all
Turkey!
poo-pooing, who beat Denver and now Seattle.
We just poo-pooed on Denver. So they...
It's true. Well, they were riding high running into that game. They had just come off of wins against Denver, Pittsburgh, and
I'm
Chargers.
not poo-pooing the 49ers. All I said was that if you can beat the Niners and the Cardinals, you didn't deserve number 1 seed, which I pretty feel is a pretty accurate statement. I mean, a bye. Because if you get a bye, you're arguably one of the 4 best teams. You should be able to beat one of the 10 worst teams in football.
You would think.
I'm
You
just
would
saying.
think. But Niners beat Seattle, and that's what I'm saying. Seattle is going to play like hell against Kansas City. They could still lose, obviously, because Kansas City's fucking monsters, but I don't know if they want to slip to the number 6 seed and play New Orleans. Again, if they get past the first game. Which would actually be...
The Bears.
Yeah. I don't think you want to see them.
Or the Rams.
I don't want
I
to
don't
play
wanna see them.
Seattle, but we've already beaten Seattle this year, and we'd be playing in Soldier.
You wouldn't be playing them with the dumps.
Let's put it this way. I don't see the Bears losing until they get away from Soldier Field.
All Seattle does is good defense and run. That will travel well. You know what? We'll get there when we get there. 'Cause
Probably.
that's not even set in stone. But I'm just saying.
We'll talk about that when we talk playoff stuff. Let's go through the rest of these.
Pittsburgh beat New England.
Yeah, New England just did not look good. They couldn't get Gronk going
Neither
at
of those
all.
are states. Pittsburgh and New England are both not.
What's New England? Explain New England to me.
That's a region.
It's a region.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you were going to get
What state? Did you really think
Says the one who already got it wrong.
the state of New England?
around. No, I'm just saying. That confuses a lot of foreigners. But like, you guys know how New England. Like, it's an
How many foreigners do you talk to ask you about the New England Patriots?
area. A lot. I have a French friend.
Both is quite worldly.
Just a worldwide. Wow. All right. So then the next game, we're going to skip the Sunday night.
Wrong. We're going to talk
Yeah.
extensively about the Sunday night game.
Extensively.
Yeah.
Foles. The Foles magic in LA
God,
continues.
man.
Foles foiled the Rams.
Foles is just your kryptonite. You guys just cannot.
Fuck Foles. You know what? You know
You
what?
guys can't find him and fucking take care of Nick Foles.
You know what? What was it? It was on Facebook. And I saw the Wentz went down. And I was like, I'm more scared of Foles, to be honest. Because Wentz, and then someone showed me his stats. He had like 20-some touchdowns, only 7 picks. But for whatever reason, he just does not strike that same MVP chord that he did last year. And maybe because he was 20-7 and they sucked ass. Regardless of how his play was. I don't know what it was. He didn't scare me. They didn't scare me. I instantly puckered my butthole up when I saw he was out and Foles was in. Because Foles, as was displayed against the fucking Rams, shitty-ass defense, by the way, Foles, he'll go for Alshon Jeffrey. He'll go for those big plays. Wentz won't. Who was Wentz's favorite target? Zach Ertz. Who did Foles not throw to because he does these short little routes? Zach Ertz. He went for the big money ball plays, which I don't think Wentz would. He hasn't majority of the season. And that's why Foles is scarier. Obviously, when you go for those big money ball plays, though, you throw picks, which we magically got one, But that's always been Foles' Achilles heel is that he goes for it maybe a little bit too much. He doesn't use Ertz in the interim, so he can switch it up. He usually goes for the big money balls. Usually gets him a pick, but he puts up 30 points.
Well,
against the defense, who is kind of surging. Fletcher Cox just made the Pro Bowl. They're
I'm with Bill. The Eagles defense is starting to look
they're-
pretty
Oh,
good.
I thought you
better.
meant the Rams.
Well, to be fair to Foles, I don't think that pick was really a deep ball. It was a little bit down the field. But it wasn't
he was,
where he was just like airing it
he
out.
was out of the red zone.
Whatever. He did. So, obviously, Bill is pretty critical of his Rams when they're not.
Fuck you, assholes! All right,
Playing well.
you knew because I bought you tickets, and now you're not gonna do good. Don't you make me go to that first game? I swear to God, I'm already planning that second weekend. If you fuck me over,
So,
Goff was giving you a refund.
I'm in agreement with
I'm fine
Bill
with
in that the Rams need to do two things. One, they need to figure out something with Goff. Because if they play a defense that can put any type of pressure on him, he just fucking crumbles.
To be honest, I wish someone was like that there's some camera somewhere that followed him during the bye week. I feel like being a little dark here. I feel like there was like maybe his girlfriend left him, maybe his puppy died. Something happened because we were riding high. We didn't beat the shit out of Kansas City, but bombas were flying in LA, and we win. It's Kansas City going to a bye, and then he's dumpest. Three dumps.
You're saying his
Three dumps in a
girlfriend's
row.
not by during the bye week.
She's saying bye. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. 3 buys. Hopefully, this is the last game. He's dump. But I just want to be like, hey, Goff, you good? Did your cat die? Did your cat die? What's up, dude? What's going on? He was the dump against the Lions. That was the
time. I don't have a goldfish, Jim. You know what I mean?
You had a goldfish,
and then
and it
died.
Was it a goldfish or a turtle?
Goldfish. Roll out.
Yeah. No, I thought the joke was a turtle.
No, he says, "What's wrong, dog? You look like your goldfish just died."
Oh, that's right. He has a turtle, but he made a joke
He
about a
goes,
goldfish.
I don't have a goldfish, Jim.
You know what I meant.
What a film. Anyway, Goff needs to figure something out because I agree. 3 straight weeks, he's looked like fucking crap. And there were all 3 of those consistent things with all 3 of those games is the defensive 4 were able to create pressure against the Rams. And Goff he couldn't put it together. And then the Rams defense has got to figure something out.
Well, so I have seen significant improvement since the bye week. I have, because we held Detroit to under 20. Stafford at least had long ball. We held Chicago under 20. The only reason why I think the Eagles got 30, Goff had those dumbass picks, those dumbass turnovers, and they led to points. That's what I will give the Jags, a tiny little bit of credit of their defense. You can't do anything when the offense is giving up the ball on your own body. You can't do anything. You really can't. So the defense looks worse in comparison because of that, because they don't take into account how shitty the offense is. Granted, our offense is not known to be shitty, but they have been.
Right.
So what I'm saying is there is significant improvement on the defense. I would not blame them for this game because Goff just put him in do positions. Even with that, little silver linings playbook.
I did see that movie.
Okay.
But
we still could have won, or at least tied, had Nasson not fumbled. Even in the end, we possibly could have tied had Reynolds or Gurley just fucking gotten out of
yeah,
bounds.
those were 2 huge mistakes.
Yeah.
I think one of the big things that at least the last 2 weeks specifically, I don't remember the Detroit game as much, was Aaron Donald has been completely neutralized the last 2 against the Bears and the Eagles. Both of them schemed precisely to neutralize him and make somebody else on the Rams defense beat you. Because when obviously he's leading the league in sacks still, I think, and I don't think he's had one in the last 2 weeks. When you can dominate the way he has, and disrupt the pocket that much, he absolutely changes the tempos of opposing teams' offenses. But the Rams and the McVay and the Wade Phillips, they need to get rid of him. But they need to change up the scheme to run some stunts or something like that to get Donald free. Because if they just or every player like,
Well,
hey, Donald, run straight into your double team. Okay, coach, I got it.
Well, I understand that they made him in the interior now. He's not a defensive end anymore. That, by virtue, is going to get double covered. You're going to get the guard and probably going to get the center. And then on top of that, you're going to get the running back coming out to chip you. So
potentially, but that's what I'm saying. They
But
need
the
to
thing
run
is,
some
I don't-
stunts or some other blitzes
Well, yeah.
where he can delay his rush or something like that. Do something more creative to get him engaged in the defense, because last 2 weeks it's basically like he wasn't there.
Wade Phillips is one thing. It is.
Sure.
Yeah, Donald.
Well, that's why
Donald's
they paid
been-
Sue all that money, and then Sue sucks.
He, ironically, in the beginning when Donald was kind of slow, it was actually Sue that did step up. Now he's nowhere to be seen. So I don't think
And he's probably getting single
Oh,
covers on
guaranteed.
blocks.
When you got 2 to 3 fatties on Donald, one of your other guys needs to step up, and they're not.
Yeah.
And they're not, that's why we also got Dante Fowler. He has had some big plays in crunch time.
Yeah, he's looked
He
good
has-
a couple of times.
He's been absent past 2 games. He had a big game against the Lions. But yeah, Donald's what Goff has, what Goff looks like he has in the sack right now. He's sackless. Well, he got nothing. I worded it better in my head. And then it came
Yeah,
out.
that was weird. But all right, let's move in Monday night.
And then New Orleans beat Carolina. They didn't score a single. I don't want to hear it. They didn't score a single touchdown. They still beat them.
They did everything in their power to let Carolina take that game, and Cam just sucks.
Cam does. I've heard he's injured. You know,
I say
you
his
can-
shoulder's just shot.
yeah, but then sit down. I realize that kills your chances. You're gonna risk your career.
Does it though?
Was it back?
I don't know who the backups. All I'm saying is if Cam's shoulders are shot, he's doing them no service. And I watched like the fourth quarter of that game. Watching him trying to throw it even like 10 yards down the field, it was
So you're
Yeah.
saying it would benefit them more if he's sat.
yes, because he can't do what he needs to do as a quarterback to lead them.
I mean, still suck
It's like
all around suck.
get somebody. If you're telling me that whoever your backup is on your team can't just fucking dink and dunk it to McCaffrey like Cam does now, so I think he's doing the team a disservice by playing injured. Even though I get the competitor side, like he wants to be there. He's one of the leaders on the team. He wants to be out there and in the fight. But if your team's in the playoff hunt, you gotta do what's best for the team. And if you're not 100%, sometimes you gotta take that back seat.
Honestly, with that performance at home,
No, I don't
There's
think
no
so at
way.
all.
There's
Yeah,
no
I
way.
think they just absolutely looked terrible, and let New Orleans squeak out of there with a victory.
I know they're not because their last game was again against New Orleans. In
Yeah, and the
New
Super Bowl.
Orleans.
Yeah, so I think New Orleans is gonna open it up. So
That's New Orleans sets.
potentially, depending on the results of this week, they could lock up the number 1 home field. So they could be resting week 17.
They just be Jews and just be like, sorry, Carolina. You're not getting it.
Yeah, I mean, who do they? Oh, they get Pittsburgh this week. So that's a tough one. And obviously, each team has a lot to play for because New Orleans is looking to lock down the 1 and get home field throughout the playoffs, and the Steelers are just trying to stay in the lead in their division. So I think that's going to be a tight one.
Yeah. the
New Orleans
Steelers,
offense, to be fair, has not looked good the week before either.
They haven't, but the thing between them and like the Rams, they still win.
That's true. They do still
They're-
find a way to win.
I mean, they won without throwing a fucking touchdown. Good lord.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but let's take a look at the playoffs. Let's see where we're at.
So AFC, you have Kansas City and the Chargers have already clinched berths.
Were
Oh.
there?
Obviously, they're in the same division, so no one's close to the division yet. Kansas City has at Seattle, and they're at home against the Raiders.
The worst case 1-1.
Chargers have the Ravens at home, and then they're at the Broncos. Probably also worst case 1-1. So Chargers would need to win out, and basically Kansas City would need to lose this week to Seattle because they don't see them losing to the Raiders. Yeah, last week. Houston is in the 2 spot at 10-4. They have they're at the Eagles this week, and then they're at home against the Jags last week of the season.
So I think same spot, probably 1-1 worst case.
Patriots are in the 3 spot. They have the Bills and the Jets the rest of the way, and they're both of those games are at home.
They're probably finishing out 11-5.
So Houston is going to need to win both because I think New England has the tiebreaker against them. Pittsburgh's currently in the 4 at 8-5-1. The Chargers have already clinched basically the 5 seed in the wild card. It's either going to be the Chargers or the Kansas City at 5 playing Pittsburgh, which is going to suck. Pittsburgh or Baltimore. Baltimore's in the 6 at 8-6. So you've got Baltimore, the Colts, and Tennessee now have kind of shaken out as the 3 teams fighting for that last spot. Obviously, Pittsburgh still has a chance, but Baltimore, their last 2 games are Chargers this week in LA, and then they have the Browns, which will not be an easy game. Then you've got the Colts. Colts are the Giants at home this week, and then they're at Tennessee. And then the Rams are the Redskins at home this week, and then the Colts at home.
I can see the Colts, Tennessee getting flexed if it comes down to that game being the winner for the 6th seed.
What
No, because they won't, because all the last week games are all played at the same time.
No, I remember the one week that the Rams and the Seahawks were still battling it out. It's when the Seahawks got into the playoffs, the 7-9 record. They flexed that game to Sunday night because of that.
We'll see. So basically, what the Colts and the Titans want this week is they want the Chargers to continue to win, and if they can beat the Ravens, then and the Tennessee and
Which
Indy
they
takes care of business against the Giants and the Redskins, which they should, since they're both playing at home and they're both playing the Giants and the Redskins. Then it'll basically come down to the Titans will be playing the Colts, winner gets the last wild card spot.
And that's what I'm saying. Why they would flex it, because regardless of the results, those 2 teams still need to win.
Yep.
No matter.
Right.
Baltimore is now in a must-win because since Tennessee and Indy play each other, unless one of those teams lose this week, then they're out if they lose, essentially.
One of them's going to be 2-0.
Yeah. I don't see Indy or Tennessee losing this week. Obviously, it can happen, but if they both win and then they play each other, guaranteed one of them's going to win. So if the Ravens lose this week, then they're going to get bounced. Pittsburgh, obviously, could still not make the playoffs either.
They got New Orleans this week.
They've got New Orleans this week, and then they play the Bengals at home, who they should win.
So probably 1-1.
So, yeah, which means that they'll probably, if you think Baltimore also goes 1-1, losing the Chargers, beating the Browns, Pittsburgh would be in the division. So you would have Pittsburgh playing the Chargers in Pittsburgh, and then as of right now, you would have Indy or Tennessee playing the Patriots in Foxborough. Tennessee's already beat the Patriots
This week?
In the NFC, you've got the Saints, the Rams, and the Bears have all clinched divisions, 1, 2, and 3. The Saints have Pittsburgh and Carolina. Both games are at home.
I think they'll probably go 2-0.
The Rams have the Cardinals and the 49ers. They should both go 2-0 there.
You think?
The Bears have the Niners also, and then the Vikings.
Okay.
The Vikings game could be one where the Bears sit if they can't get the 2, and you can't drop to the 4.
Right.
Which they're 2 games ahead of Dallas right now. So as long as they win, if they win this week and the Rams win also, I don't know. I mean, I guess they would need the Rams to lose to the Cardinals.
We need the Rams to lose one of their last 2, and we need to win out. Because we own the tiebreaker.
Maybe the Bears don't sit against the Vikings. Let's have to see how the schedule and how everything when the games are played. But
I think regardless, the Bears will not sit at all because as long as the Rams lose one of those 2, we will take the 2 seed.
Yeah. Then you've got Dallas at the 4 still, 8-6. Seattle at the 5, 8-6. Minnesota currently at the 6, 7-6-1. So assuming Carolina is now out, you've got Minnesota at 7-6-1, Philly at 7-7, and the Redskins at 7-7. Still vying. I don't think the Redskins, despite their win,
What's the 6th seed?
Minnesota
And what?
7-6-1.
They're ahead on that fucking tie.
Because the Philly and Redskins have 7 losses. Because they're 7-7.
No, yeah, that's why I asked.
I think the Redskins will bow out. The Eagles do have a chance.
Wow.
They need to win out.
So the Redskins play at the Titans, and then they play the Eagles. I don't think they win either of those games.
Redskins?
So Philly, obviously, they have the Redskins, and they have the Texans this week. So it's going to be an uphill climb also. Because they essentially need to go, 2-0.
I think if they lose, they're done.
Philly?
Yeah.
To win the division. But technically, if they went 1-1, and the Vikings went 0-2,
I'm sure they'd be ahead of them.
they'd be ahead of them. But the Vikings have the Lions, who they should be able to beat this week, and then they have the Bears. So say the Vikings go 1-1, say Philly goes 1-1, Minnesota would still be in. Yeah. Seattle has the Chiefs, and then the Cardinals. So they're probably going to go 1-1 also. So I'd be shocked if it doesn't end the way it currently sits in the NFC. I think the picture is pretty much set. I think in my mind it's going to be the Saints and the Rams getting the byes. The Bears are going to play Minnesota, and then Dallas is going to play Seattle.
And then I agree with you. I think it'll probably end this. Well, I'm a little leery myself with the Niners because of the fucking past 2 weeks, and both the Bears and the Rams get them in these last 2 weeks. Obviously, I'd like to assume the Bears will take care of business and beat them.
Is that at home or away?
We're away.
Bears are at the Niners this week.
Yeah. And we finish on the road the last 2 games. We're in Minnesota and we're in San Francisco. I think we'll get it done, but we need to handle business because there is that off chance. We're fortunate that we only have one divisional game out of our last 2. The Rams have 2.
You guys are worried about the third worst team in football, just so you know. They're going to have a top 3 pick. That's the end right now.
Hey,
Oakland, Arizona, and the Niners.
They've beaten 2 good playoff contending teams the last 2 weeks.
I guess.
When they beat Denver, Denver was in playoff contention.
Yes. They came
Yes,
off the wins with Pittsburgh.
But Sanders got hurt that game, and they haven't been the same since.
Right, but that's not their fault.
But not going
All
in.
I'm saying
Yeah.
is they've beaten 2 teams that they should have lost to going in.
Probably.
So you don't want to count your chickens just yet.
I get that, but you guys aren't the Denver Broncos.
That's true.
Right. I mean, ultimately, I agree. I think it'll probably end the way it currently sits. I think 1, 2, as it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all will finish in the current spots that they're in. I like the Bears matchup against the Vikings. Now that means we'll get New Orleans if we go through.
You would get us. Well, depending on the results of the other.
Depends on the results, yeah. 'Cause you guys would play the best seed still left. The
Oh, that's right.
The worst team.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I have a sinking feeling.
I very much like that road.
I have a sinking gut feeling that Tennessee is going to have the worst season in NFL possible, which is where you do just good enough and don't make the playoffs. You're like the best team that did make the playoffs. Because I have a feeling they're going to beat the Redskins, but I'm scared of playing the Colts.
Yeah, I think everybody should be afraid of playing the Colts right now.
So,
They are not looking like a fun matchup.
all right. So this week's games, no Thursday night this week. So Saturday. Yep, that last Thursday is last Thursday. Went out on a bang. 2-point conversion to win. So we've got Redskins at the Titans, 2:30 on Saturday. Titans are favored by 10. Titans are at home.
Ouch.
They need to win. I'm going with the Titans.
Titans.
Titans. Yeah.
Ravens at the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 4.5. Those are 2 good playoff kind of seeding potential games on Saturday. Chargers 4.5, 6:20 on Saturday. I'm going Chargers. Riding high off the Chiefs win. They need to keep winning if they want to try to win the division and get the bye.
I'm going to go Baltimore on this one. I have a feeling.
The quarterback is right.
I do know who the quarterback is. All I'm saying is they've been rushing the ball like crazy since Jackson. Well, obviously, you can't throw for Dick. So they have to run a lot, so they're moving the clock. They're controlling the pace of the game. And their defense is fucking phenomenal. I think there's still a question mark around Melvin Gordon. So
Just wait.
I'm taking Baltimore.
Chargers.
What are these odds? Oh my god. Alright, Giants at the Colts. Colts are favored by 9.5. I'm going Colts. Texans at the Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 2.
They just came off a good win. Foles is better than Wentz. I don't give a shit what people say.
I'm going Texans.
I'm going Philly.
Alright.
Their defense, it wasn't good at the beginning. It's certainly come on. And Foles is better than Wentz. Maybe not 1-1, but when it comes to wins, you know what?
He's better than him. Not when they compare them together, but yeah. You get what I mean.
What did you guys say about?
No, you compare them side by side.
What did you guys say about the Vikings being better? Because you just trade out Keenum for Cousins? That's what I thought. Shut up. Foles is better than Wentz. Foles in that system is better than Winston. in that
Foles is
system.
better for the Eagles than Wentz for the Eagles. What you're
There you
saying.
go.
Gotcha.
I can see that.
Jaguars at the Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 4. I'm going Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm going Dolphins. Jags suck. They just lost to the Josh Johnson-led Redskins. Guy who learned his teammates' name through playing Madden.
Dolphins.
Packers at the Jets. Jets are favored by 2.5.
That could suck, man. And Rodgers was hurt.
They played you guys pretty tough.
Again,
In
divisional game.
Soldier. Okay, they're playing fucking Jets.
All I'm saying, the Packers fucking lost to the Cardinals.
Let's get, this would be an intergalactic game. The Packers beat the Jets.
Like,
Okay, well, here's the real question: Is Rodgers playing?
I don't know.
yeah, I think that's a big question mark.
I say no.
Knowing
Because they
Rodgers,
just paid him a bunch of money.
I don't think he should.
He's
I will say that.
injured.
he probably shouldn't be out there, but knowing Rodgers, he will play.
He has nothing to gain from playing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going Packers.
I'm going Jets.
I'm only saying Jets. I don't think Rodgers will play. If they were smart,
Bengals at the Browns. Browns favored by 8.
Browns watch.
Browns.
Calling it Browns.
Browns.
This
Don't
would
let
make-
it- don't let it stand.
This would make them 7-7-1, which would mean going to the week 17, the Browns would have to beat the Ravens for their first winning record in God knows how long. They'd either
It
go
would be a
8-7-1,
winning record, yeah.
or they'd be 7-8-1.
It's been 84 years.
Probably has.
Bucks at the Cowboys. There's no odds for this one.
Really? They think that little of the Cowboys now.
Trap game.
I'm going Cowboys.
Trap game for who? Cowboys did shit last week.
Cowboys.
As much as I want to pick the Bucks because I think the Cowboys are on kind of scare alert right now, I'm going to take Cowboys. I think they bounce back.
It's hilarious. It would be Bucks won after everyone just toting them. After Jerry Jones was like,
boys!
"I'm the best GM in the world," I still think Cowboys will bounce back and win.
Vikings at the Lions. Vikings are favored by 5.5. They're going Vikings. They need to win
Lions at the Vikings. Is that what you said?
The Vikings at the Lions.
in Detroit.
I am picking Minnesota, though. I think because it's a must-win, they'll get it done.
And the new coordinator offense look pretty good. Bills at the Patriots. Patriots favored by 13. I'm going Patriots.
Patriots.
Falcons at the Panthers. Panthers are favored by 2. I'm going Falcons.
Panthers will be lucky if they score 2 points. I'm picking Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons.
Bears at the Niners. Bears are favored by 4. I'm going Bears. Bears are only favored by 4 due to the fact that just Trubisky can't score any points, so they'll probably just win like 10-7.
You gotta guard that boy George Kittle.
Yeah, God. We need to guard him.
Rams at the Cardinals. There's no odds, no spread for this one.
Shut
There-
up.
There's not a spread. Look, there's this box. There's no spread under it.
That's embarrassing.
Still going Rams.
Yeah, the Cardinals just suck. I'm going Rams.
Rams.
As shitty as the Rams are, they're going to be
The fuck did the Cardinals just do to warrant that?
It probably just hasn't been updated yet. Either that, or the spread is so large that Vegas isn't letting people bet on it.
The Cardinals
Yeah,
beat Aaron Rodgers, who, he's dangerous.
We beat them.
All right, so here we go. Steelers at the Saints. Saints are favored by 6. Going Steelers in the upset.
I'm actually with you on this one. Saints offense has looked very just inconsistent and not as reliable as weeks past. And Steelers are also in a must-win situation.
And TJ Watt, I think, has learned a little bit from his brother in this past offseason because
He's looked quite good. Yes, I'm gonna take Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna take the Saints at home. They're a much different team at home than
What? Chiefs at the Seahawks. Chiefs are favored by 2.5. If the Seahawks wouldn't have lost to the Niners, I would have gone Seahawks, but I'm going Chiefs.
I'm also picking the Chiefs. I think they're even as good as Seattle is at home with that defense. I think Chiefs offense would just be too much to handle.
I'm gonna go Seattle. I think their defense will pressure Mahomes. He does not like that. It will not be a high-scoring game like the Rams. And Russell Wilson, granted, hasn't looked like lights out. Obviously, the past 2 games, especially the last one. But he can do it.
And then Monday night, Christmas Eve, to help put us to sleep while we wait for Santa, the Broncos are going to be playing the Raiders. Broncos are favored by 2.5.
It's a division game. That's literally the only draw to these matchups.
Maybe watching Gruden lose is the draw.
I'm going Broncos.
I'm going Broncos as well.
Who's home?
Oakland.
Oakland's home. That's a tough one.
Don't act like there's some good team at home. They suck.
Yeah, but it takes away the Broncos' edge. Oakland actually has fans.
Denver has fans.
What I'm saying is it's not going to be an away game for the home team.
Yeah, the
Well,
Rams
Los
and Chargers.
Sanders. What does Keenum have to think? You know what? I'm going to go Oakland in the upset.
All right, well, next week, week 17, they're all divisional games, obviously. As of right now, there is no game scheduled to be played on any day but Sunday, and there's no game time scheduled for different from 11, the regular 11 and the 2:25 games.
I agree with both. I think we could see the Tennessee
I
Indy
think they'll
game
flex something.
get
If
flexed.
they do a Sunday night, they could. Right now, the Tennessee Indy game is scheduled for an 11 o'clock game that day. That looks like the only game against each other that would decide,
I was going to
Spot.
say the Vikings and the Bears.
but the Bears would already be in.
Oh,
Well,
that's true.
both teams are playing for their playoff lives.
Like basically the Colts and Titans would be playing for the same spot. Winner
Right.
just takes the last wildcard spot. The Bears would already be in. And the Vikings,
need to win to get in.
or yeah, they would
Yeah,
need to
never
win
mind.
to get in, or they would need the Eagles or Redskins to lose. And the Eagles and Redskins play each other, so
Yeah.
but only one of them's for sure going to win, obviously.
Yeah, I can see the Colts.
But as of right now, every game is in the morning next week for week 17. Except
Are they really all going to be played, though, at that same time?
I don't know what happens that week.
I don't think that's way too much. And I don't want to watch the fucking Cardinals.
I'm sure there's no Monday night. Is there?
Just say, nah.
Oh. So this was from last year. There was no Sunday night football game last year, but they did flex a lot of games into the later window that had playoff implications. So you might see a lot of the games be pushed to like the 2:25 start, right, for us in our time zone. That way, all the games are being kind of played at the same time, or at least they know going into the game what's happening.
That works.
That's it.
I think that wraps it up.
Boom. All right. Thank you guys for joining us for our Sweet 16. We'll come back at you with number 17. Well, we're going to discuss what we're going to do since next week is Christmas. But we're not going to see you before Christmas, so Merry Christmas. We're not in Europe. Sorry. Merry Christmas. And
Did you just fart?
Ben just farted, so we
Merry
don't.
Christmas.
Merry
Bye.
Christmas.